Okay, everybody, welcome back for round two of this tournament. So, round two, I'm playing against your Meister, so we played each other many times. You've seen him on a couple of the other videos. Sometimes I win, sometimes I lose. It's always a close match. Um, so, to open up, I see two corps here, and I'm not happy with these two corps. They are Recyclon and UNMI. They both kind of suck. Sorry to the fans of the corps. I know they have their fans, but they both suck. Let's be honest here. Uh, Also, what sucks are these preludes. Molehole excavation and smelting plant, both kind of garbage. Biosphere and loan, also kind of garbage. But smelting plant and molehole both have building tags, and thus I do tend to lean towards them because, building tags work with Recyclon. And I'll be honest, Recyclon's better than UNMI is. So in this hand, what do I have to play towards? Antigrav. Antigrav is the clear best card in this hand. I also have some card draw to go with it, though I usually prefer not to have to play the Business Network. You'd much rather be Inventors Guild. The rest of it is kind of mediocre. Like Convoy from Europa, not really that good. Noctis Farming is fine, but not good. Colonizer, same difference, though it is buffed in Venus because Venus gives you the reward for the 3 different planet types. And I sit here and I go, man, is this really my options? Please tell me these are not my options. Uh, so anyway, yeah, you gotta take those. Of these, Titanium Mine is a slam dunk. I think you take business contacts when you're going for anti-grav. And now it's just kind of the debate on, do I ever care about like farming or a Martian survey, or are those too expensive and too much of a, gotta play it now. Especially Martian survey, because if I'm playing smelting plant, there's a real tight window on when I can play it. With that 4% oxygen requirement. Just thinking one more time and lamenting my lack of preludes, but I do get an extra 10 cash from the steel to help play some of this stuff, and they will at least get me one plant prod to start. And yeah, that makes Recyclon the better choice than stupid UNMI. And it makes me choose to add the microbe, which I don't have a choice. Alright, let's skip ahead a little bit. He takes some time to think. A lot of time. Alright, here we go. So he's Thorgate. So obviously, when you have two very weak corps, you're also praying that they have a very weak corp, and he does. Thorgate is one of the weaker corps. And he does Aquifer Turbines on 2 cards and Supply Drop. Alright, so what should your, I'll say, default assumption be when you see something like that? They're Thorgate, and they're choosing a prelude that gives them power, which means it's not a very good prelude. Uh, in terms of overall value for Thorgate. So what I expect when I see that is it probably means he is going for an oxygen bumper. So Steelworks or Processor, Ironworks, something like that is probably happening because otherwise the power just doesn't seem like a good prelude. So if I see a SP power from him to open, that basically guarantees, yeah, he's going for a bumper here. And hey, I get my plant prod, yay! And yeah, there's the SP power. So he definitely has the bumper. And then Soletta. So I'll tell you, I was a little shook when I saw the Soletta. Um, why am I a little shook? It's because Soletta doesn't really play well with oxygen bumpers. So if you're doing an oxygen bumper, you're not scoring on the ground, right? You are raising oxygen via your card. And then Mangrove, I'll take it. I got the spare money. Um, Maybe I should have taken farming if I'm willing to take mangrove, but I digress. Alright, let's finish my thought and then we'll talk about this draft. So, you don't like to do auction bumper and Soletta because if you're doing auction bumper, you're not scoring on the ground. If you're not scoring on the ground, you're probably not scoring quite efficiently enough in order to win a terraforming rush. So, to see a card like Soletta combined with a bumper just seems like two different avenues that you're going for. Bumper is really good when you are trying to be an engine and eliminate some of the scoring of your like eco-line opponents. But I mean, we'll see. So really, to me, this means that uh, temperature and oceans are going to be the lagging parameters, but temperature maybe not so much due to the Soletta. So oceans are really the main thing I should be looking out for. Now on to this draft. It sucks having to pass virus because I do have plant prod. I will be getting more plant prod, and this will be very devastating. However, Research Outpost literally does everything I could want it to do, and I want to make progress towards anti-grav as well, so I mean, you gotta take the Research Outpost. And I suspect he takes virus, and I get back Archie, and Archie is not a bad card to play as recycling. Alright, interesting draft here. So Breathing Filters is probably coming online sooner than Gene Repair, but Gene Repair is production, whereas Breathing Filters is 1 mega credit cheaper, so I'm a little torn on them, but I think overall I lean Gene Repair because Gene Repair means that I'm going to get the production, which is going to help me play more cards. And if I don't ever get to 3 science tags, then I wasn't really interested in playing Breathing Filters either, to be quite honest, because the only reason I would play them is because I'm trying to get the anti-grav online. Yeah, Archie comes back as expected. We take those. And I think I have to choose one of the two. I don't think buying all of them is quite right here, though it could be. It could be, but I ultimately lean towards Gene Repair making the most sense. And saying Breathing Filters is probably just a little too expensive for turning on anti-grav, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was correct to take Breathing Filters. We'll never know. Alright, so we draw first, and nuke power is certainly something we take. We have steel prod and we don't have power, therefore anything that is power helps us out a lot. And then, yeah, we'll just dump a research outpost. Now, where do we put it? So you know that I think the best locations are here in the east, here in the south, and here in the west. However, I am not really looking at any of those locations, and why is that? The reason why is because I'm looking to get anti-grav down, and in order to get anti-grav down, I need cards, and there are cards here and here, so those are the locations I kind of want to put it, especially because I know he has virus, right? I go and get these plants, oh, that's great, but it's just going to get promptly virused, so it means nothing. So based on that, I go right here on the 1 card. And I get Natural Preserve, which is fantastic. One of the best cards I could have hoped for, truthfully. Because it is a building and it is a science tag. Yeah, and there's the Steelworks to no one's surprise. And I get my plant production, and I get Atlanta, which is another science tag, and more card draw, which is just fantastic. And a Venus tag, which is not insignificant for getting that 3 planet setup. And he has a deuterium export, so he is really chasing after bumping his power by a lot here. Seems okay. Alright, of these cards, I think GHG is the clear winner because GHG is a science tag and it's coming online right now. And I don't really want to give it to him that he can use it. Nitro Moss is okay, but it seems a little weak here because with an oxygen bumper, plants are just a little worse than usual. Unfortunately, I'm a corporation that uses plants, so that sucks. But, I mean, progress towards AI, you gotta take it. Or not AI, anti-grav. Though, it is progress towards AI too, just saying. These cards all kind of suck. Ironically, I think Food Factory is the best card here. So, I'd take Food Factory of these. Not that Venusian Plants is a bad card, mind you. It's quite good if you can get Venus up to 16%. It just doesn't seem likely with the setups that we've seen so far that Venus is getting up there, so I'm taking the more useful card. Tardigrade, same thing. Caretaker doesn't look like it's playable this game. Tardies doesn't look playable either, but I'll cut it. It's better than the rest. So yeah, all kind of garbage except for GHG. I honestly debate Food Factory here because it is production, and with the Oxygen Bumper, the plants are not as important. But ultimately, I decide it's not a good card. Don't try and think of weird situations where it can work. Just accept it's not a good card and play normally. Geothermal's kind of sad to see because Nuke Power is already in our hand, but it's still probably best. And now I have to decide, do I want to try and rush out the colonizer? And I make the determination of I don't think I have to rush it out. I think I have time in order to play it. I don't see him getting 2 oxygen bumps here, so I can just wait till next gen and play it. Then he gets in the tank here and he thinks for a little bit. He just raises heat. Makes sense, makes sense. Yeah, we'll go ahead and play the GHG bacteria, and we'll start raising it. Be nice if I could play Atlanta, but can't quite afford it. And I could play Colonizer, but I will wait. You can always find something better to spend the steel on, and then you'd regret it. Like that MedLab, hello. That is a fantastic pickup for me. MedLab's a science tag. It's paying off all my steel. Just great. Alright, so new card. Let's talk about it. Terraforming Contract. Has a requirement of 25 TR, but you get 4 MC production, meaning that if it's playable, it is basically just free money. Meister here is going to be at 25 this turn, like right now, which means I really don't want to give him a card that is going to pay off in 3 gens. That's a little too efficient, and especially since the rest of these cards aren't particularly good, though SF Memorial is certainly better than Lava Tube. I'm not so far away from Terraforming Contract. It's probably playable for me Gen 5, though I'm probably going to get virused, so maybe more like Gen 6. It's on the verge, but it is an Earth tag that I don't have, and Earth tag is valuable for the 3 planet bonus that we talked about. Then Shuttles actually makes a lot of sense here because we're going up to 5% this turn. I have 3 titanium sitting around with no purpose, and I have power in my hand I can play, so I think Shuttles makes a lot of sense. I think Terraforming Contract is okay, though maybe a bit of a distraction. So a little unfortunate that I did not play the Geothermal last gen, because if I'd played the Geothermal last gen, I could open up with Lava Tube into a conversion here, which would be really nice to avoid losing my plants to a virus, but I didn't, so, that's on me. I also could SP a Ocean in order to get the conversion, but that's something that I think a lot of people make a mistake on, and I don't think it is good. That is focusing on, the battle versus the war, right? So, if the battle, oh, by the way, knock the city, fantastic. In terms of the battle, I don't really want to lose my plants. That's very painful here. But in terms of the war, what happens if I SP an Ocean? That's the lagging parameter, most likely. So it's helping him move the game along in a way I don't want to have happen, right? I'm looking like I'm favored in a long game if I manage to get down to -3, like I'm looking at. And so if I'm favored in a long game, I want to make sure I'm not pushing it too quickly. And so I need to just slow down and accept if he viruses me, he viruses me. I think a lot of beginner players would consider SP Ocean here, and while it's fine in some circumstances, I think the large amount of cash lost and pushing game pace forward would be a very, very bad play. He once again is sitting in the tank. I don't really know why. Oh, it's because he's trying to determine if he wants to do SP Ocean or not. SP Ocean is a little suspect. Selling a card is a little weird. I don't know what to make of that. But, okay. He plays Protected Valley, which is a fantastic card. And now he's up to 18 cash, so yeah, it looks like he's planning on SP Ocean again, and then he's going to do another conversion, which, yeah, that's pretty good. So that does get him the oxygen bonus, gets him the heat bonus, and yeah, it looks very good for him with Protected Valley there. Looks like Terraformer's his, looks like Gardener's likely his, looks like I have Builder and maybe Mirror Lines, but it depends on how quickly things move. Alright, tough draft here. So, what do you take here? A lot of players look at this draft, like me, and think Advanced Alloys, well that's very good. That's, +3 production, essentially. And more if I pick up more stuff from the board. And so that goes a long way towards helping on the anti-grav, and I'm very good. However, standard technology there is also pretty scary because I'm giving it to a guy that seems to be going pretty, hard on pushing the game pace out quickly. And so if I pass him the standard technology, does it let him SP out into ending the game quicker than I want it to end? I don't know, honestly. 3 production is 3 production, and standard tech is useless for me in terms of what I want to be doing, right? I'm basically paying 8 for a science tag, which is kind of bad. I'd much rather pay 11 mega credits for a science tag and 3 production. But you have to consider, does this push the game to an end before I'm ready for it? Ultimately, I take Advanced Alloys, but it's a hard decision here. Like, I have to sit here and I have to think about it for a little bit. Is it good for him? Is it good for me? And I ultimately decide it's good for me. I take Livestock here because Livestock looks fantastic. It looks like it's going to be playable next gen. So that's looking like at least, 3 or 4 points. Yeah, very happy with Livestock. Then Ironworks doesn't do anything for him, and I'm certainly never playing it, so just take the Wave Power. Alright, Venus card is not playable, so I'm not particularly interested in that. I think Advanced Alloys and Livestock are the 2 obvious keeps. Wave Power, I already have Nuke Power in hand. It's too expensive for what it does. We're not interested. I check Thermophiles to see if it's added only to a Venus card or any other. I don't play with Venus that often, so it's one that I forget about sometimes. But if I could add it to any card, it'd be pretty good for Cyclone, but it's not. And then Nuke Zone, that must have been when he took over Livestock. That is a fantastic card for him. Terraformer's locked up for him. I see Insulation. I'm obviously not buying it, but that means that maybe there is some sort of banker fund possibility now that I don't have to worry about Insulation as a threat. Yeah, so he's got Terraformer locked up. I could take Planner perhaps if I want to save my money and not spend anything. But, I mean, look at my hand and... Alright. I don't think it's right for me to save on my money here. I think I should be continuing to develop in order to get anti-grav down in a reasonable time frame. This Nitro Moss, I'm a little critical of this move. He already has the oxygen bumper. It's not really doing that much. It's costing him, 8 cash. So, and 2 plants. So it's not paying back till Gen 7. Gen 7 is the first time he gets 2 plants. Then Gen 8, Gen 9. So, he's basically getting 6 plants for 11 cash, which is not great. But the bigger problem is that when he is getting up to 2 plant prod, it opens him up to animal attacks now. So I'm not really a fan of the Nitro Moss, though I understand it. So I'm not using my steel I want to save my steel for after I play Advanced Alloys, and I really want to uh, play Advanced Alloys next gen because the money works out nicely for me to get down Noctis farming and Med Lab this gen. Um, I'm not worried about the milestones being swung. It should be pretty much safe. Yeah, he didn't like seeing that Med Lab. Grass helps make the Nitro Moss a little bit better, but I don't know. Still not great for me. I think it's still too slow. When you're going a fast pace like he's going while oxygen's going up via the bumper. If there wasn't an oxygen bumper, I'd be okay with it. Of these cards, I think kelp farming has the most potential for me to lose the game. Research coordination is nice, but I already kind of have my science tags accounted for. So I don't really need it. So I think I take kelp farming. And Magfield versus Venus Way Station. I take the Magfield Dome because he has power, and I don't want him to get basically a free point. But that Venus Way Station isn't bad, and something that you have to think about is the Venophile award on Venus. I am not that experienced with Venus compared to other formats, and so I don't think about Venophile as much. But it is always an award that exists that you do need to consider when it comes to this map. But I pass it. I don't think it's that important. Omnicore is going to be playable after I play Atlanta, so I think I take that. It's just 2 points into production. And I go ahead and buy the kelp farming. I'm not sure it's going to be good, but if oceans were to come down quickly, I do want to be able to start surrounding my cities with plants. I grab the steel because I have advanced alloys. I want to make use of it. And I go ahead and slap down the Scientist Fund. I get the feeling he's going to do a Thermalist Fund soon with that amount of heat prod, and so I want to get the cheap 8 Fund over him. I don't really see being able to swing any of the milestones, so I'm just going to accept I'm going to get Builder, and he's going to get his 2, and that's going to be that. He plays Standard Tech, which I don't ever love seeing. Though I did know it was a risk to pass it to him. And milestone claimed. I'm definitely not taking extractor balloons. That's just bad. These standards of greenery to get a conversion. I'm also skeptical of this move. The oxygen's already going up pretty fast. Do you really need to SP a greenery as opposed to, SPing oceans or asteroids? I get that what he's trying to do. He's probably trying to, not have to use his oxygen bumper as much and let the energy start rolling over to heat. But I still think that right here, this was not the best because it could make the game go one more gen than he would like it to. I don't know. It's not necessarily wrong, but I was a little skeptical of it when I saw it. Now I need to decide, do I want to do the livestock or do I want to do the science tags? I think it's better to start doing the science tags towards AI. I already have what I need, so I decide I'm going to sell off the local shading in order to get some cash to help make everything meet up right so I'm not overpaying. But I think selling local shading is a mistake because Venophile exists. This is foreshadowing, having seen this game already. So I play the Terraforming contract, which is okay, but I feel I got a little baited for it because it's Gen 6 that's coming down a little later than I was hoping for. I was hoping for, Gen 5. But hey, it's still fine. It was I think that was my first Earth tag. I'd have to check. Okay, birds is fantastic. I mean, yeah, mineral deposit's good, but, birds, remember how I talked about he got his plant prod up with that nitro moss? Well, now the birds swoop in and caca eats all of his plants, scoring me some nice passive points here. Very happy to see that. Earth Office is nice, but I mean, Ice Cap Melting is a card you can't pass to the Terraformer because it's just super cheap ocean. Small Asteroid, not giving him that either. Just trying to hold down the awards, and Earth Office is at least free thanks to business contacts, so might as well buy it and play it. So I'm scared of Deimos here. Deimos would be a bad time. He doesn't seem to have it though. So I just open up with immediate, knock this city into a conversion, and I get some more plant prods, so I'm starting to scale up here. It's a little annoying that he blocks off my city's mangrove spot, but it is to be expected. That is the best place to put an ocean. Strip mine's kind of useless. He does use the O2 bumper, so it does mean that I can play birds. I check the things, and it looks like I can continue to greed my milestone a little bit longer. We'll just work our way towards the antigrav now. He plays greenhouses, which is okay. It gets him the last oxygen, so I'm actually agreeing with that move. But there comes the birds. I'm going to check his money here. And so let's talk about options here. So again, this goes back to the winning the battle, losing the war kind of thing. So what can Meister do here with his standard tech? Well, with his standard tech, he could, SP a city here, and he could get 7 cash back, which, gets him up to like 22 or so. If he had like an investment loan, he could then SP another city, and if he were to do that, he could open with a third SP city and claim mayor. Like, is it likely he has all that? No. Is it something you should think about? Yes. So could he do that and steal my milestone? Yes, he could. Am I scared of him doing that such that I feel the need to claim now? No, I'm not. And why is that? Because he's just sinking in, 66 cash into claiming an award when I'm scaling. I have the anti-grav, I have some card draw, I have better plant prod, and so if he does that, that is winning the battle of getting the milestone, but it's losing the award of ending the game on the timeline he's looking to end it on. So I'm not worried about that. Some of you maybe have thought about it though. So here I don't really want to push anything. I really want to keep game pace slow, and so I'm not raising heat. I am going to play the Earth Office just in case I need priority on any Earth tag plays coming up. Alright, this is a nice hand here. Dev Center, well, some of you might think, oh, card draw, I want that. Actually doesn't look very good to me here, because it doesn't look like it's very playable for me with no power, and it doesn't particularly look great for Meister because he doesn't have any interest in science and card draw. He has interest in ending the game due to my better scaling. He has a lot of greeneries though on the board, and I think because of that, Immigrant City is the clear pick. Bushes isn't really doing as much because we're not, the oxygen track's already maxed, so we're not really looking to get a ton more greeneries, though it's still fine. Absolutely, it's still fine. I would still play it, but Immigrant City just seems like the stronger card, and I expect he might take bushes, and then I get windmills, and I'd be happy to play that combination. Of these cards, Quantum isn't really playable, Heat Trappers isn't really playable either, and Terraforming Ganymede just doesn't look particularly good. 4 points for me, like 3 points for him. Just too expensive to really justify ever thinking about it. I just take the Heat Trappers. I don't think it matters much. Though I do have 16 mega credits of titanium lying around, so maybe I should have thought about it some. Bushes for the reasons I stated. In fact, I can even just play the bushes here and get an immediate conversion to keep my plant safe because we are at the Deimos range, right? This is where Deimos is likely to be dropped, if ever. I just go ahead and take 2 cash in the point, cut off his ability to put down the greeneries. And he funds Thermalist, so that was something I could have considered, but I was fearing the Deimos value. I did not want him to get Deimos. But he did have Thermalist. I could have considered funding Banker or Miner, which both look like much safer awards, and get them cheaper than the 20 award. But, I think it was correct to protect my plants, so it's fine. I'm going to go ahead and play the Immigrant City and just take the good spot now while I can. Want to Make sure I have that reserved. He does lava flows, so he didn't have Deimos, but nonetheless, he gets the bonus ocean, and again blocks my mangrove. That's how you know he's a good player, but it's very annoying. Mining area is basically just free for me. I can play that and get 4 cash in the steel back and steel prod. Seems pretty darn good. I am a little on the poor side though, which is unfortunate, and I really want to make sure he can't end, because if he ends and this generation, then I'm in a heap of trouble, because I don't want to not claim my milestone. That would be bad. So I do a little thinking, do a little math about what I want to do. Claim, play cows. Can I raise heat? Do I need to hold off on the heat? He does SP Ocean into a conversion. So he is giving me a point, but he's taking 4 cash away from me, and it seems reasonable. I do almost have enough money for livestock and kelp farming, but not quite. But I'm not even sure kelp farming is that good. It's just my hand is a little on the empty side. So when your hand is on the empty side, I think it is correct to maybe play the business contacts. But first, I'll go ahead and claim my milestone. I don't want to not have the chance to claim it if he has a GIA and pushes end of game right here. Though I don't think he'd be doing the SP Oceans if he did that. Invention Contest is a scary card to see. Means he just had the chance to see more cards. Might have found something good. And he did. He found Lake Marineris from the card. Absolutely unreal. That is literally the, I'll call it second best card he could have found. He could have found GIA, which would be the only better card, and I'm not even sure it's really better. But yeah, Lake Marineris, absolutely absurd draw. Always lucky. My turn, though. I find Mars University, and I get the choice between Gyropolis and Hired Raiders. Gyropolis is cute because it does allow me to use my steel, so it's, 12 cash I can put towards a city, which is quite good. Hired Raiders could maybe mess up some of his calculations here, but to me, it's got to be Mars U and Gyropolis here. It was just too much upside to having a second city to put down here. I could play it now, but I want to play it with more steel. My money's a little tight. I can't afford to waste it. I do go ahead and play my cows, start getting that point in. So it's at least 2 points, which is fine. Just a testament to how poor I am that I'm having to wait all this time to play it. You might be thinking, well, Thread, what are you talking about? You have 16 MC Prod, your opponent only has 2. Why are you so poor? It's because he's got 24 more TR than me, so he's still out-earning me by quite a lot here. I cycle the kelp farming because it's not very good at this stage, and I find a research, which is absolutely fantastic. And now it looks like he can't end. He already has the ability to end next gen, so I'm just going to go ahead and take 2 points while I can. He's going to have it anyway, so might as well just grab it. Insects is not actually that great for me. It's, I'll check the tags, you'll see. But Open City just looks like the far better card for both of us here. And so, since Insects isn't that much, I think Open City is the clearer pick, though I'm not sure it's better than Gyropolis. We'll get to that discussion in a minute here. Okay, he's in the tank cooking. Hard decision on this draft for him. I think I know what it is, but we'll discuss it after the play happens based on our post-game talk. He has a long thing. Maybe I should go ahead and skip ahead, but whatever. You guys have stuck around this long. You're in it with me now. This is me just doing some spreadsheet math. Okay, Soil Factory is the only card that means anything here, so we get rid of that. Hackers, the only thing that means anything here, so we'll get rid of that. Alright, so now what's better? So Gyropolis is 17 mega credits, 2 power, but I have the 2 power, so that's not really a problem for a city, essentially, right? Open City is 20 plus 3, so 23 mega credits, but it's a city and a point. So it's basically, do I want to pay 6 mega credits for a point here? And I'm not sure I can afford to do it, because I want to fund the award of probably Banker for 20. I want to play Gyropolis, I want to play Mangrove, and I'd like to play Research. So if I look at my hand here, that's 8. I'll count the steel there as well here. So that's 9. So that's 57 minus 17. That's 40 minus another 17. We're at 23, and then I got a fund. So that's like 3 mega credits. So I don't really think I can afford to fund at 20 and play Open City. So as a result, I don't think Open City is that good. And if I'm going to be using my power on Gyropolis, I can't really afford Soil Factory either. So I think this is just a buy none situation. It's just none of it's really good enough for me with the plan of playing the cards in my hand here. And I spend that time here debating it, but ultimately that is what I conclude. So like I said, he's in the tank with 2 cards and trying to decide what he wants to buy. And then, did you see that? I went pretty quick over it. But let's look at the awards. I'm winning Banker. I'm winning Miner. Landlord is entirely too risky for him to spend 20 mega credits on. I'm looking like I'm winning that too. So what fund is left? Oh, the new one. The new one that's in Venus. Venophile. What's his count on that? We're 1-1, and he takes heat and funds Venophile. So, we're 1-1. That could be a problem. So I decided I'm going to play Research first, see if I can find the Venus tag. Kind of garbage, we're getting rid of that. Indentured is good, so I'm getting rid of that. I find Air Scraping Expedition, but that's not a Venus tag because it's an event instead. So that's kind of sad to see, but okay. Good to know it exists. Asteroid. Do I want to buy the asteroid? So if Meister kept insects, you can go look at his plants. If he kept insects, that's going to be just enough plants to get him over to 8 mega credits. So asteroid is 12, but if I play it, I don't really have another use of my titanium. I'm like, I don't. This could be a 2-point. Well, 1 point, because he doesn't have a city. It could still be a 1-point card for 3. I think I will gamble on it, because he might play insects here. He does SP Ocean and then Giant Solar Shade. Okay, so now it's 2-1 on Venophile. He bamboozled an award from me. But he's basically out of money at this point. So I like to put it on the card, and Force Precipitation, let's go! That is the perfect card for me because it is a cheap Venus tag. That is a 5-point card right there just by playing it. So better lucky than good is all I can say to that. We'll see what he does, but he has nothing left to do. He sells 2 cards and he is done after using a floater action. So I can go ahead and I can play Force Precipitation, and on top of that then I could even play Air Scraping Expedition and draw a card. So that's 5 points. This is 6 points, and it draws me a card, and then I can use the floaters to raise Venus again, so that's 7 points. So, that was a hugely lucky set of draws from Venus, from random cards to get Venus stuff, to get me like 7 points from random draws there. Very important. So I go ahead and debate, should I play Gyropolis? Should I play Air Scraping? Can I do SP Cities? Like, what works here? And I decide, draw the card first. Phobos Space Haven. I can't stop winning. So lucky. So what? I had 20 mega credits of titanium without a way to spend them, and what do I find? 20 mega credits of titanium to spend on 3 points. Like, thank you. Thank you. I will take that. And so now there's some math to be done. I could do like indentured workers into playing like Mangrove to get cash back, maybe, or maybe Gyropolis for cash back. And could I afford another SP City? Could I afford another SP Greenery? Like, these are things I'm calculating here. But ultimately, I come to the calculation that I don't think I can improve my score any with indentured workers here. I think it is just best to play Gyropolis and then play Mangrove, and it is what it is. And ultimately, I calculate, it should be enough to win. So he doesn't get another greenery. I get a 3-point greenery right there between my cities. And we go to the game screen. And with a 24-1 VP swing, I win by 5 points. So that Venus card was absolutely huge. Gave me 5 points just for playing it, but then I got another 2 from the air scraping, which then found me the titanium sink to get me another 3. So, as I said, better lucky than good is kind of the phrase of this game. But that's the win. So very rare for a Venus game to go that quickly, and it kind of goes back to the whole should I have passed him standard tech. He SP'd an ocean, 2 oceans, I want to say, and maybe 3. 2 or 3 oceans, SP'd a couple asteroids, again, like 2 or 3. Was it really the difference between Gen 9 and Gen 10 end? I don't know. But regardless, it's pretty good for the engine to be able to get up to nearly 90 in 9 gens. Like, that's very efficient. So I'm pretty happy with how this game played out, considering the abysmal corporation and preludes I had. But gotta work with what you got. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys for round 3.